Black supremacy. This is Nattyisisyah. Join the website kingnobleuncensored.com. I have to say this. White people are going to start shooting up these schools. If you're black and you're in these institutions of white education, I suggest you hurry up and start planning your exit, okay? Because this is the second article, and I'm not even through with these what's going on in these schools, that where these teachers are confessing their sins, and these white students just don't want to hear it. The last article was about the teacher telling the students in high school in Oklahoma at Norman High School that yes, all white people are racist. That student did not want to hear it. She took to the news. Her father did not want to hear it. Even in his voice, you could hear he sounded like a rapist. Sorry, racist. Hey, I can't. It's what's the difference? Anyways, in this article, students walk out of a lecture after professor says everyone descends from Africa. Okay, what did they walk out for? What did they want to hear? Some students in class at Texas State University got up and left after their professor brought up the Black Lives Matter movement and mentioned that everyone originates from Africa. So, this is supposedly a picture of one of the students leaving. Look at her. A student leaves Professor John McGee's classroom at Texas State University. Some students at Texas State University in San Marcos got up and left their lecture hall after their professor, John McGee, said that all people originated from Africa, the tab reports. Apparently, the day's lesson was supposed to be on race, so she knew what she was getting into more than likely. The next day, she didn't have to show up, or they didn't have to show up. He began to talk about the Black Lives Matter movement and how it had come about before mentioning that everyone descended from Africa. Now, I'm surprised that as soon as they started talking about the Black Lives Matter movement, that they didn't start getting up and leaving. Because we know these racist ass white people don't want to hear nothing about the Black Lives Matter movement. And if they're so racist to walk out when he says that everyone descended from Africa, I'm surprised that they stayed that long. According to the tab, that's when students began to exit the classroom. Some stayed behind to argue with one another. So you see, they are getting irate. You know, what are they doing arguing? Isn't this supposed to be a place of education and learning, right? A lot of people, this is what y'all are paying for. A lot of people left, said one of the students, Kareen Taylor, 19, ripped to Kareen, who they killed the other day, Kareen Gaines. It was embarrassing. Why should it be embarrassing? These are your future teachers, your future politicians, policewomen, employers, right? These are your social workers. These are your people at higher business levels, your CEOs, your all of that. Why is it so embarrassing? Why are people so shocked? So AJ, apparently one of the students, wrote that on Twitter that his professor just said all living people are descendants from Africa, and people got up and walked out, and now they're arguing. Now, here's what I want to know. I really want to know, what did they want to hear? Did they want to hear that they are the grafted germ of from Yakub? Did they want to hear that they're Neanderthals? Did they want to hear that they are descended from monkeys and that we came from them after they come on? What did they want to hear? I'm surprised that the black people didn't get up and walk out, because I'm not accepting that these racist ass demonic devils came from us. I don't accept that. I'm sorry. There's no comparison to this devil. McGee claims that he doesn't remember any of his students leaving the classroom. Oh, maybe that's because, hey, y'all don't exist. Anyways, he should have told them that, you know what, come 2020, you're done. Y'all are practically done. That's what he really should have told them. How are they going to stomach that? Did they check that article out? Talking about how white people are pretty much extinct, pretty much an endangered species on the verge of extinction 2020, that by then it'll be more mulattoes and albinos, or sorry, mulattoes. How are you going to walk out on walking out of your existence? In regards to today's story in the tab, I don't recall any of this from my class on Tuesday, he said, according to a statesman. This is an introductory, listen to this. This is an introductory cultural anthropology class. What the hell are you doing in a culture? This is just like the other article I read. She was in a philosophy class, and he said that all white people are white. Why can't you philosophize on whether all white people are racist or not? Why are you in a class on philosophy if you can't handle some of these facts? Right? This is an introductory cultural anthropology class of 390 students. The topic of the day was concepts on race. It's probably in their chapter. They probably knew this was coming. And I mentioned the Black Lives Matter movement as an example of how race is an important issue in the US. Right. McGee also said that there was no further discussion on the topic and that no one approached him about the matter after the class. I don't know whether he is just denying the fact that people walked out of the room, or I mean, he didn't mention anything about them arguing. He seems to be trying to save his ass, but the devil gonna do what the devil do, right? The fact is that he told just about as much truth as he probably ever would in his life, but you have to why people are going to start just shooting these classrooms up. I'm sorry, it's coming to that. It's gonna look like how it looks in these other countries when they have riots on the school campuses. Don't trust these white people. If you black and you think you're conscious and I'm just gonna get this just education, I'm just gonna get this degree, I'm doing this to help my people. Nah, the more this stuff comes out, and these teachers are just leaking this information at the mouth like the WikiLeaks. You can't trust these white people. This is Texas. Apparently, don't quote me on this, but apparently they're able to carry guns into the classroom. Anyways, join the website kingnobleuncensored.com. Graduate your ass early. You know what I mean? You study at home, come home, right? You're not these white people. They're telling you what you already know, and these white people are walking out like they just learned this stuff. Really. Anyways, join the website kingnobleuncensored.com. Peace.